Understand, people, there is a real threat out there. And there is a rational response to that threat. Also, an irrational response. Death, destruction, and mayhem, though, are always out there, just beyond the perimeter, waiting. Every time you get into your car, cross the street, or even step outside, you test fate. I shake my head as I watch videos of obese people fighting over rolls of toilet paper. I repeat, obese people. They panic over a virus that will most likely have little to no effect on their lives while they continue to devour Big Macs and ice cream that will. People need to sort out reality and prioritize their fears. I think a lot of this overreacting is because we got it too fucking good, too easy in 21st century Western society. I know some of you are thinking, okay, boomer, but what about... Just shut up and listen. Not far from where I live in California's wine country, there's a small pioneer cemetery where my great-great-great-great-grandparents are buried. And about a total of 100 or so people are laid to rest there. 30% of them, though, are children under the age of 5. Families tended to have a bunch of kids in the 1800s because the odds were about a third to a half of them were going to die before adulthood. This was reality for just about everyone, everywhere, from the beginning of time to roughly 100 years ago. But the 20th century wasn't exactly a breeze either, with 2 world wars, the Depression, and a threat of nuclear war. I'm old enough to remember the Cold War, where the threat of nuclear annihilation was always there. There was the very real possibility that you and everyone you know could be obliterated in a fiery holocaust at any minute. And since we're talking about threats, during my teenage years, I lived just south of San Francisco in a house that was built directly on the San Andreas Fault. And we were constantly reminded that the big one would come anytime. Now, I don't like to reveal too much of my past or private life, but I'm going to get personal because I feel it's relevant to this point I'm trying to make. In my 20s, I lived by the axiom, the road of excess leads to the palace of wisdom. Now, I was a singer in more than one band. Most of them were like goth type bands, I guess you could say. And back then I did everything to its limits. Sex, drugs, you name it. And I will confess, I was an occasional IV drug user. Something I haven't done since November 1986. What I'm saying is, I fucked just about any girl I can get my hands on and shot up coke in San Francisco in the 1980s. Do you know what epidemic was sweeping through San Francisco in the 80s? That virus makes this coronavirus look like the fucking sniffles. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't take precautions. Wash your hands. Don't French kiss strangers and don't lick doorknobs. Be careful. This path we're on, the left-hand path, is all about facing reality. Facing your fears so you can live a fuller existence. But if you give in to panic, live in constant fear, you're not really living.